Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. I'm so excited to see you all. And firstly, I want to congratulate every one of you because you have taken this first step towards your growth. Okay, not many people are willing to accept that where they are, that is not enough for them and that they need to grow in life. So, congratulations. I think you'll be able to gain a lot from here. And on that note, let's start. So, why I've named the series of these webinars Unlearn. Now, by unlearn, I mean since childhood we've been taught that CA as a degree, it is more than enough. एक बार CA बन गए, then money will start coming in your life, in your house, in your you'll become rich, and all these false promises are made. But let me tell you, if you're a fresher and you've just started coming into CA or you've just become a professional, that is not true. Okay, I'm not saying that CAs cannot become rich. I am saying that सिर्फ सीए बन जाने से कुछ नहीं होता है. You have to put in full effort, hard work even after qualifying. And the current scenario, you can see that so many CAs are being qualified, which is a good thing because people are being rewarded for their effort. But what is also true is that since so many people are passing out of the degree, the kind of demand that we used to have earlier, it is not there anymore now. So this makes it important that we unlearn what we had been fed in childhood when we were just starting with CA, that it's enough to have one degree. Maybe it's not. All right, people can do a lot of things with that, and people can also lay back. So unlearn is that concept which I've started. Now, coming to the agenda of again, I'll just I'll make you informed about the coming up series. Today we are taking ACCA. In the next webinar, we are taking CPA. In the subsequent webinar, we'll be taking CFA, MBA, and alternatives to MBA. This webinar series will go on till this week's Sunday. And if you're someone who's really confused and you don't know what course to pursue, or you might want to pursue based on your interests, then I suggest you to attend all of them. If you're focused and if you already have your defined interest that, okay, this is something that I would like to pursue, this is what I am interested in, then you can attend respective webinars, no issues with that. All right. Now, who I am, for those of you who don't know me, I see a lot of new faces here. A lot of my friends are here, so you already know me. Those who don't know me, I'll just introduce myself in a brief manner to you. I am a chartered accountant, and I started mentoring professionals and students around 2 to 3 months ago. And since then, I've had a great response. I've been in touch with more than 50 professionals, 300 students, regular calls, counseling sessions on WhatsApp, on calls, on video calls, on LinkedIn. So this has how my journey has started. I've worked, my professional experiences that I've worked in EY for 1.5 years. Before that, I did my articleship from a mid-sized firm. I'm also a motivational speaker and presenter. I create content on LinkedIn on a regular basis. I have over 7,000 connections. And apart from that, I love writing, which is what leads me to my hobbies being blogging and storytelling. So yes, you will know how it works. Now, let's come to the main questions for today. Okay, should I continue to study after CA? A lot of us don't know the answer to that, right? So many times we are so fed up. I mean, if I talk about myself, मैं पढ़ के पक चुकी थी, and I was like, dude, I am not taking any other degree. I just want to go forward like that. But right now, in even my career and in so many professionals' career, I've realized that this might be important to reconsider. Okay, if yes, which course should I go for? How much cost will be associated? How much time and effort will it require? And can I continue this course while working in a job? Okay, so these are the main questions that we need to address for ourselves as an individual to know whether we should go for a course and why we should go for a particular course. Now, to analyze this, you can take a screenshot of this slide because this will help you ultimately decide for yourself whether you need to go for a course or not. Are you going for a course because you want to do it, and not under someone's influence? Are you going for a course because you want it and not because it is fancy or offers lucrative opportunities for you? Fancy like IB or something else that is very much in trend these days. Is the course that you've opted for commensurate with your long term goals? So if your long term goal is, say, a lot of professionals have talked to me who said that my long term goal is not working in finance, then why are you going for a course which is leading you to finance? These kind of examples. Then are you someone who just wants to keep learning no matter how difficult it can get? Even if you can answer one of these questions with a yes, then yes, you should take up some course. Now, how to decide what course that would be? Okay, that is what we look for forward in the next few slides. Now, reasons could be anything for you to take up a course. It could be something as simple as that you want to keep learning, but that desire should be very strong. That desire should not, flow down in the drain once you start studying. If you're signing up for a course, be committed to it. Then you need a qualification for a desired work profile. That could be the thing. Then you have a knack for some course. For example, you have a knack for stock markets. That is why you are taking up a course for that particular field. Or you want to grow internationally. Again, that is a very good reason to take up some course. Now, yes, let's come to the main agenda for today, which is ACCA. I will be telling you all about this, and also why you should or you should not be taking up ACCA. Now, when to go for it and the benefits that come along with CA when you do ACCA. All right. Now, let me tell you a little about the degree first. Okay. You need to understand the degree to know whether it is the right thing for you to do or not. There are huge international opportunities in ACCA. You not only get a professional degree as an equivalent chartered accountancy degree internationally, but you also qualify as an MSc in professional accountancy from University of London. Okay, that's a good enough degree for taking up masters. Then, of course, it offers you higher competence as compared to your professionals. Did you hear that? I'm sorry. Yeah. So it is a globally recognized degree in 183 plus countries. In 78 countries, you get signing authority as a professional. So again, that is a crucial factor. These days, most of the big fours and main pharmaceutical FMCG companies, these are hiring CEO and CFO level people on the basis of how much international knowledge they have. So when you study ACCA, you are studying basically the laws of, you can say, Europe, right? The tax laws from there. I'm so sorry for this external noise. Just give me a moment. I'll mute everything here. Uh, all right, that should be it. Yeah. Now, you know what the benefit is? The main benefit, if you have already done your CA and then you pursue ACCA, is that 80% of the curriculum, which we will be discussing in detail, is exempted for a chartered accountant. So if you've already cleared your CA final, 80% of the course of ACCA is exempted for you, and you have to just take up the 20% of it, right? I okay. It is beneficial for people who are wanting to work in consultancy. If you're someone who has always imagined of yourself to be a person who's engaged in sharing their expertise, basically consultancy is what? Anything or any expert knowledge that you have, you are willing to share it with people who do not have that. That is consultancy. So if you're wanting to share your this kind of knowledge in being in a consultancy, working in a big four or a mid-size, or opening up your own practice, even that is a thing. Or you want to just have international exposure, whether in India or abroad, it is a great degree for you to go for. The compliances will be all UK based. When you talk about the tax finalization, tax returns, the IFRS are applicable. all the regulations will be completely UK based, nothing from India. So these are kind of the additional challenges that you'll have to go through while you go up to take your degree, right? Now a lot of people ask that if I don't want to go abroad, if I don't want to work internationally, I want to work in India, is this a degree that is beneficial for me? I want to tell you that this degree is the scope in your career. It is not just limited to being physically abroad or in UK or in Europe. It's not like that. When we talk about global recognition in 183 plus countries, we mean that 183 plus countries recognize that degree as a credential of you, and they will give you. I mean, all the UK based companies have expanded their business and they are functioning in so many different countries. So if you talk about India, I know professionals who are working in India, ACCA professionals, and they are working as consultants for the UK based companies. So it is not true that you only have to be in abroad to function as an ACCA. It is not true. You can be in India and you can still practice as an ACCA. You can use your finesse and your expertise in providing consultancy to UK based companies. All right, then what is the difference? If I talk about auditing and assurance related knowledge, it is more or less the same. What will differ is the tax compliances and payroll compliances majorly, because payroll processing is different, their work culture is a little different, the tax regulations are different. These things will majorly impact your course. Then you can also move out for jobs after engaging with an overseas consultant or ACCA placement portal. Now, a common doubt is, how do I get a job in Europe? How do I get a job in London? How do I get a job in anywhere in UK? So there are experts who are actually engaged in this, you can say, career where they help people go out. They are called overseas consultants. They help you to get a job there. Then, of course, the ACCA institute actually gets some placements done. So they have a brilliant placement portal, and they you can sign up there and you can sit for those placements. These are the benefits that will accrue to you if you come to ACCA as a degree. Now let's talk about the curriculum and difficulty level. So there are total 13 subjects in all right. Once in UK, if you are out of your high school, you have taken a bachelor's degree, you can go immediately for ACCA. All right, but in India, there now, if I talk about CA also, if you've already entered CA, if you are a CA foundation student, an intermediate student, a CA final student, or you've already qualified as a chartered accountant, I can say there are three possibilities, right? For a CA professional also. So what is that stage where I'll get the most benefit of enrolling into ACCA? Let's talk about that. Coming to the marking scheme, it is very practical and very detailed. Okay, so अभी CA में कैसा होता है? Your kismat is mostly in the hands of your examiner, right? This is not like that in ACCA because they have a very detailed marking scheme which also gives marks for steps. We don't have marks defined for steps as such, and it's mostly on the examiner's discretion. But in ACCA, the marking scheme is comparatively, you can say, lenient. They have a very defined structure. All right, and what is the best part about this degree that I feel is that finally someone is recognizing articleship experience equal to work experience. I mean, 3 years and a CA article has gone through the struggle, the pain, and every kind of effort to get through articleship without being really paid. Okay, unless you're in a big four, you're not really earning anything. So you've gone through those 3 years of tremendous effort, but nobody in India recognizes that effort as work experience. But in ACCA, that 3 years articleship experience will be counted as work experience. So if you're someone who's interviewing in a placement for ACCA job and you tell them, they ask you, Ki, kitna, what is your work experience? You can say, okay, 3 years that, and then whatever your professional experience after qualifying is. I mean, how great is that? Come on. Then obviously, since the membership is offered after work experience of 3 years, it becomes very crucial to recognize those 3 precious years as work experience. All right. Now, how long will it take for any person to become an ACCA? Now, before understanding this, let's come to how many subjects you'll have to appear for. All right. Now, I'll start with someone, since we have the maximum participation here of chartered accountants. Let me start with people who have already qualified CA. What is the criteria for them? So, if you've already qualified your chartered accountancy, you can go ahead with your ACCA, and 9 out of 13 subjects will be exempted for you. How great is that? So, 4 exams you'll have to give. All right, then two are mandatory. If you see the last point, the ninth point that is listed in the slide, 2 exams are mandatory, which is strategic business leader and strategic business reporting. All right, if you talk about SBL as a subject, it is one of the toughest subjects that you'll have to go through. My laptop will die, let me connect it. Yes. So if we talk about SBL as a subject, it's a challenging subject definitely, and the ACCA Institute actually charges for it more, because the subject-wise fees is the highest for SBL. All right, it is around 20K. We'll talk about the fees in the next slide. So you need really good writing skills. These are mostly, if you've ever come across the elective subject in CA final, it is somewhat, it can be compared to that, because there are 2 case studies, 50-50 marks, and you have to appear in detail for them. You have to use your good writing skills and go for that. Then coming to SBR as a subject, strategic business reporting. It is like FR, syllabus is a little less because they mostly cover Ind AS and IFRS. All right, not very difficult to crack. If you've already given CA final, you can tackle that. Now, 2 subjects out of these 4 on the right side of your screen, paper 4, 5, 6, and 7, you have to select 2 subjects out of these 4, and you go for any 2 based on your interest. So I've listed a little summary on what kind of subjects these are, so you can, of course, like if you were a person in CA final who loved SFM, advanced financial management is a great subject for you. If you like taxation, then advanced taxation is something for you. If you want to hold a practice which is both audit and tax, a mid-sized kind of a firm, then advanced taxation and advanced audit and assurance will be most beneficial subjects for you. And advanced performance management is more sort of a theory subject. So yes, if you don't want to go for any of like you can't decide, then you might go for that subject. Now, let's talk about a CA finalist. All right. So people who have not qualified CA, but they have appeared for certain number of attempts in CA final, and they are not able to clear CA. Now, I've seen a lot of people who shift from CA to ACCA because of this reason, because they are not able to clear final for whatever reason, and then they think that yeah, it's too difficult. Let me just try this now. I'll have international opportunities, and I think that's a great thing to do. That there's no shame or there's no harm in doing that, because definitely CA takes a lot of toll on you if you're not able to clear it. If you've given like 4, 5, 6 attempts and you think that yeah, I cannot give any more time and effort to this. I want to start working. I want to start my career as a professional. Then you can, yes, take up ACCA. And for a CA finalist, you have some beneficial content here too. So obviously, not all 9 subjects are exempted for you, since you're not qualified as a chartered accountant. But yes, what will happen for you is that if you have exemption in your any of your 3 subjects, that is costing, SFM, or FR, if you have greater than, did I mention exemption? I'm sorry, I meant greater than 40 marks. Okay, so if you have greater than 40 marks in any of these 3 subjects can also be exempted for you. But let's also decide the possibility of that. Since the ACCA Institute grants you exemptions, you will have to write to them. These are not mandatorily exempted. If you write to them and they permit, these may be exempted for you. All right. Now, if we talk about an IPCC pass out, six subjects are exempted for an IPCC pass out. So, I'll just put it like this here, that the best stage for you to go for ACCA would be after you've qualified CA final. Unless you're stuck in CA final after 4 or 5 attempts and you think that, yeah, I'm not able to do this anymore, then that's an exception. But otherwise, C after CA final is the best stage for you to go forward with ACCA. Stick to that, all right? Then, like now we can talk about duration. So exams are held quarterly back to back without any leaves. So you can give one exam at a time or all four exams at a time. That is upon you. So, how fast you're giving the exams and how good you are with your preparation, that will determine on whether you take 1 year or 2 years. All right. Then passing percentages close to 50%. Coming to the next slide. Time and effort required, and can it be pursued along with a job? So, I will say that for preparation of four subjects, you will require at least 6 to 8 months if you are already working somewhere. Okay, and that is when you put in 2 to 2.5 hours daily for your preparation. See, any degree you take up, any degree for that matter, will demand consistency and commitment. Unless you're really sure that you can put in your time and you are ready to put in studies for that, of course, you'll have to study. That is no exception. Only then go for it. All right. 2.5 hours daily, 6 to 8 months, and it can be managed with a job. All right. If you want to clear the exams in one go, please put in effort with consistency and dedication. All right. Then I've already mentioned that what is the best time to go for ACCA. It is after clearing CA. Only go for it post IPCC if you have had multiple attempts in CA final and you're not able to clear it. Please stick this in your head. Now, I'll come to the associated cost of ACCA as a degree. Now, what happens is when we talk about Indian rupees, of course, the value is fluctuating with respect to pound. The fees will be paid in pounds because it's a UK based degree. So I have assumed an average cost of £1 is equals to 93 rupees here, and I've calculated the total cost that will be incurred in ACCA as a degree. There's initial registration, there's annual subscription. If you want to go for professional exams, there's so how many professional exams? Say you are going for 4 professional exams, all right, after qualifying CA. Then it will be up to you for qualifying ACCA with the cost is around £136 and comes to around 51,000. And the membership fees after qualification of ACCA and before you enroll as a member is again something that you'll have to take care of. So for a CA qualified person, the cost will be somewhere around 1,10,000. For an IPCC qualified person, it will be around 1,30,000. All right. Now, exemption fee. Do you know about exemption fee? I want to bring this. There is this little concept here called exemption fee. The number of subjects that you are claiming an exemption for. All right. So say that you are claiming an exemption for 9 subjects, like we talked about, right? After CA, you'll have to pay an exemption fees of equivalent to the exam fees for those subjects as an exemption fees. So even if you're claiming exemptions, somewhere or the other, your this fees will be almost the same. Now, how can you avoid exemption fees? I'll give you that technique also. Now, there are certain approved learning providers. By approved learning providers, you can also call them coachings who are registered with the ACCA Institute. They can help you to get the exemption fees waived, but obviously they'll charge you the coaching fees there. So you can say that the cost will be the same for you as a student, but what will be the benefit for you is that your equivalent amount of exemption fees will be invested in your coaching fees, so you will be able to learn with that fees, right? Yeah, Pawan, I know exemption fee cost is very high, but these institutes can help you get that fees waived. All right, it can be negotiated. They can almost help you cut it down like to 5 or 10% of the total exemption fees. It can vary up to 90,000 to 1 lakh. And what coachings usually charge for per subject ACCA is 12,000 to 15,000 to 20,000. So it varies coaching to coaching. If you talk about 4 subjects, your cost can go up to 80 to 90,000 for 4 subjects. A coaching fees I'm talking about. So if you save your 1 lakh rupees from exemption fees and invest 80 to 90,000 in coaching fees, that is more beneficial for you, I think. All right. Then overall cost, if you talk about ACCA exam fees plus exemption fees, it can range from 2 to 3 lakh rupees. All right. Coming to the next slide, common queries before enrollment. We are almost towards the end of the webinar. I'm just taking, so the first time I took this webinar, I had received these queries in the maximum number. So I'm taking these here. How to get sponsorships from Big Fours. So if I talk about Big Fours, they don't give any sponsorships for any subjects unless you are their employee. Even if you are their employee, it depends on the team, it depends on the manager, it depends on the terms you have with your professionals and senior colleagues there. So it's totally team to team. You can definitely talk to the HR about their policy, but it's not necessary that if a certain person in a Big Four got sponsorship or got paid for their degree, you will also get paid. You have to maintain your relations to a certain extent, and you also have to be in constant touch with HR for that. Then is it beneficial to pursue ACCA if we don't want to move abroad? I've already covered that in the first slide. After clearing CA inter or bachelor's, can we get relief in some of ACCA subject for examination? Yes, like I talked, after CA inter, you will get a relief of 6 subjects. So yes, you will get exemption. Then what career opportunities are there in India for an ACCA? Like I mentioned in the first slide, you don't need to move abroad for that necessarily. I'm in touch with people who are working in India as ACCA consultants to UK based companies. So I know there's a lot of scope here. All right. So you can work in India as well if you've qualified for CA plus ACCA. If someone is looking for better career prospects in India as well as abroad, which course you will suggest, ACCA or CPA? Now again, coming to CPA, I will be discussing complete CPA in tomorrow's webinar. And the good news is that we will also have an expert with us who's already pursuing CPA and who knows the exact specifics about it. So you will be able to ask her your queries as well. So of course, we'll take up CPA tomorrow. And for now, if I tell you, it's just a matter of location. CPA is a US degree, ACCA is a UK degree. So I will just say that it depends on where you want to work in the future or which area you want to be associated in the future, right? So great. I think that winds up today's webinar. So I'll just all right. I'm not taking any queries as of now, but I will be saving this chat because I need to end this webinar right now here. I'll just save this chat and I will answer all the queries on the group. So don't worry about that. All right. And the session is almost over. I hope you all had a great time. I'll just stop sharing here. I want to see all of you who joined. Great. Okay, I see there are a lot of queries. Don't worry, we'll answer all the queries in the group. Don't worry about that. I hope this was an informative session for you all. Also, let me again remind you that tomorrow is CPA, then day after tomorrow is CFA. On Saturday, we have MBA, and on Sunday, we have alternatives to MBA. If you're someone who's still exploring different career options and you're still looking for what you can do as per your interest, then you should tune in every day at 6 half-an-hour sessions. And I hope to interact with all of you in person on the group. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes. Okay, bye-bye.